Now we're going to look at another regression equation. Total personal income for a country in billions of dollars for selected years from 1957 to 2002 is given in the table. Let's read all the directions here to see what we're going to have to do. First thing is these data can be modeled by an exponential function. So find the equation of this function where x represents the number of years after 1957. Then, if this model is accurate, what does the country's total personal income predicted to be for 2007 using the equation? In what year does the model predict the total personal income will reach 22 billion? Remember, this is in billions. Well, let's go back and see what we've got to do in the problem. First, we find a regression model for this. Now, I do want to mention, I left my calculator like this so I would remember. The last problem that I did, I had my stat plot function on. Remember, we had gone to second y equals, and we had turned plot 1 on so that we could view the scatter plot. If you want to view a scatter plot, you can turn it back on later, but right now I don't want to look at a scatter plot, so I want to do second y equals and choose option 1 to make sure that it is off. And there it says off, so I would enter there, and then I could go back second, quit, and when I go back to my y screen now, y equals, that plot 1 is off. Anytime you use the stat plot for anything, be sure you go back and turn it off before you use anything in the stat menu in another problem. So now that we've set that up, I'm going to enter my data. So I'm going to go to Stat, and I'm going to Edit, and I'm going to put the X values in list 1 and the Y values in list 2. So that means the number of years since 1957 goes in my X's, and the Y is the total personal income of this country. Again, being careful that you don't get any typos. Once we have the data in, we can find the regression equation. So we go to Stat, Calculate, then we again go down to Exponential Regression. And I want it to store the regression equation in Y1. Now, you need to be sure that you cleared out anything in Y1 before you do that. Here I would go to vars, yvars, and choose Y1. Calculate it. And I get my regression equation. Okay. So, there's just some screenshots. This shows the scatter plot. I didn't count the scatter plot, but it does show the scatter plot. So we found the equation. I'm going to write the equation, and let's just say I'm going to go to 2 decimal places here. And it's in exponential form, so that means I have 444.65 times 1.08 to the x power. The r squared and r values are very close to 1, so it's a pretty good fit. And if you look at the graph here, you can see that it is a good fit. So this is the answer to part A. Part B says, if this model is accurate, what will be the country's personal income in the year 2007? So, to do part B here, I need to figure out what my x value is for 2007. So I need to take 2007 minus the 1957. So 2007 minus 1957 will give me 50 years. So here I can go in my table. I have my equation in my y equals. I can go to my table. Let me put my table in ask mode. That'll make it a little bit easier. I'll just tell it I want the value when x is 50. When x is 50, I get, and let me arrow over to highlight it to get my decimal there, 17,651.43. I probably would be asked to round that to the nearest dollar. I don't know that cents would even matter that much here. And these are, of course, in billions of dollars. So this is 17,651 billion would be the total income for the year 2000. What did we do? 2007. Now in part C, in what year does the model predict the personal income total will reach 22 billion? So to reach 22 billion, I want to know when my equation intersects with the graph of 22. Let's see. Oh, 22 trillion. I'm sorry. That's why it's got extra zeros there. It's 22 trillion here. So that means I'm going to graph 22 trillion as 22,000 billions. So now my window will probably not match that. I would have to find a window which would match that, which means my y would have to go past this 22,000 number. So to go past the 22,000 number, I would reset my window and find the intersection. The intersection would be 52.99, which is about 53 years. So that would be 1957 plus about 53 years would be 2010.